My name is Jane Wood, and I live on Stratton Square here in the village. And I have lived in that house about 35 years.
My name is Scott Jackson, and I live in the Springs. And I've lived in the Springs since 1984, but I came to the Hamptons in 1977.
Okay. My name is Mark Fletcher. I presently live here in East Hampton. As a result of a stroke, I decided to live where it would be healthier for me. And I've been out here since 2013 in East Hampton.
Well, on a daily routine, I would come here Monday through Friday for lunch and go home, and then I would have a nice afternoon, and things would pass very easily, and it would be something to look forward to.
And there's like no bad vibes here. I mean, I'm from New York where I know about bad vibes. And as soon as I came to the senior center, all of a sudden, all the people in all the stores, all of the restaurants, they got to know me because of being out here. And it was a great feeling. I felt like I belonged. It's like they accepted me.
It is a wonderful place for getting together, not being alone, enjoying good food, and wonderful exercise.
They had bingo, for example, if you wanted to do that, or they had Tai Chi if you wanted to do that, and yoga, and those were all activities that were taken away from us. I'd never thought about it before. I was totally astounded that it even existed, that we didn't know about it, and that it would be that contagious. That was the most difficult thing to realize. And then, of course, after that, that's when the fear process enters into your mind.
I remember being here for lunch one day, and we were was quite full. We were all close together. And I thought, I wonder how long this is going to be. I wonder if we're going to be able to do this much longer. And the next day, of course, they decided that they were going to close it down. It was not safe. And so that was when I was really, truly aware of what was happening.
Governor Cuomo, he had to do everything he had to do, and I would listen to his show, and when I learned about the rate of infection, the whole thing about masking, all of these protocols, I said, it's going to happen here in East Hampton, and I was glad to live. It's going to come to East Hampton, but I was glad I wasn't in Manhattan, because in Manhattan, everybody was dying.
We needed to be with people, and I would say, first of all, fear that if you are with people, you might get the COVID. But the other thing was missing out on activities and things that were offered especially by the center here, and those were cut off from us, and we missed that, especially if you live alone.
First of all, I had to prepare most of my meals, which I was not used to doing because these were so great. I considered these dinner. But on the other hand, I wasn't crazy about going to shopping. So soon after, this center started preparing frozen meals, which we could pick up. Then finally after that, they were delivered. So in many ways, it was a help, but also I realized that I was home alone a lot, and that was not so great.
I became depressed. Okay. My routine was to get up, have these classes first thing in the morning. Exercise was my second job. So when the pandemic stopped, everything closed down, I lost all of my socialization. I'm not Zooming anybody. The seniors aren't Zooming anybody unless their families Zoom them. And I didn't know about that.
Well, on a weekly basis, there would be someone from the center who would call to ask how we were, and that happened weekly. So that was a great comfort to know that someone cared, to care to see if we were still viable.
My daughter, who lives in California, said she had room for me if I wanted. She left it up to me, but I am completely alone out here in the middle of the ocean. So I decided that I would go and live with her. We came back during the summer, of course, but I've been living out there with her, sort of setting up my life out there.
The biggest thing for me was getting up 7 o'clock in the morning when the seniors were permitted to go to the supermarkets before the other people, and that was great for me. And that was the little bit of socialization that I got in talking to people. And I happen to be a talker, so that was great for me. And they know your name. Like here, they know your name. And I learned from the stroke, you count your blessings. And so all of a sudden I started to say, Mark, count your blessings. Because unless you get sick, you're luckier than everybody else at this moment. Within the senior center, I feel no, I want to make this clear, discrimination by the staff. I've had some issues that they have handled properly with regard to some people talking politics that have hit home to me. I had to go to them when I saw someone come in with a Trump hat, and I heard people talking, and I went to them, I addressed it, they were super supportive, they let me, I cried a little bit, they consoled me, and I felt safe.
I think the whole idea about life and death has changed. Well, because you realize that when the good moments are there, you have to relish that. And if you get up in the morning, you have to realize that you have a day of wonder, but you're not sure about the next day. And that is where life and death and survival come into contact.
I think maybe cooperation. Yeah. If that were just one word, I'm so proud of East Hampton because I think we have such a wonderful, not only pandemic, but we have such a wonderful aging program. There's nothing that we can't get, we can't get help for. It's wonderful. Our tax dollars at work.
Disappointed that many people do not take it serious enough about the vaccine. It's hurtful because I know of 3 people who one of them I know, I see her in my face, who I joke with and everything.
Fear.
Tell me more.
Well, I think that I never felt fear before, even during World War II, which I of course was a child and I missed. And when I was in the Army, I was between Vietnam and Korea, and I didn't feel fear then. But I imagine those were fearful times also, but not like a pandemic. A pandemic is worldwide, and it's not just localized. Other things have been localized, like a war has been localized, but a pandemic is mondial, as the French would say. One has to remember that everything we own is on loan. And you want to be able to pass that on to the next generation so that they can survive in an equitable way as we did. And that would be my best wish for the future generations.